Chickens aren't the only ones. There's many different animals that lay eggs, right? By Ruth Heller. So while we read this book, I'm going to ask that all of us use our scientific powers of observation, and we are going to be comparing chicken eggs to all the different kinds of eggs we find in the book. It's going to be very, very fun. So a scientific skill that all scientists use is a compare and contrast. So we're going to notice what's similar and different between the chicken egg and all the other eggs that we see in the book. It's going to be great. So let's get started. Chickens aren't the only ones. There's like really cool pictures in this book too. It's going to be great. Chickens lay the eggs you buy. The eggs you boil or fry or dye or leave alone so you can see what grew inside naturally. Yeah. So here's an egg and here's a chicken egg. They're about the same size, right? Really neat. We do all kinds of things with eggs, right? People love to eat eggs. We eat them for breakfast. Sometimes we even eat them for dinner, or we mix them up with different food and make tasty meals. But if you leave the egg alone, and if it's fertilized, and if you keep it nice and warm and incubate it, then eventually a little chick comes out. Little baby chicks come out of eggs. But chickens aren't the only ones. Does anyone know what type of animal this might be? Yeah, this is a peacock. And they lay eggs too. And their eggs kind of look like chicken eggs, right? They're white and round and oval-like. Maybe they're related. Every bird, wild or tame, does the same. Let's go back to this page. Check out all these birds. Look at all those colors. We have a crowned blue pigeon. These birds are really cool. They match my shirt, so I think that's awesome. And we have a black penguin over here. I think this is called a wood duck, and these are really cool. They have green and yellow and brown and all kinds of colors. And all these birds, they're all so very different, but they all lay eggs. And of course, over here, we got a turkey. And we got a swan. Looks like a goose. And a mallard. The ostrich lays the largest egg. The hummingbird, the smallest. So we have all types of different kinds of looking birds, right? Like look at all these different looking birds. And all their eggs look different too. They're not all like chicken eggs. And in fact, I have something cool that I can share with you right now. This right here is a little hummingbird nest. Here's my pinky for scale. It's tiny. These nests are little itty bitty. If we were to try to fit a chicken egg in there, it just wouldn't fit, right? These eggs are way too big. So the hummingbird's egg is small, is small enough that it fits in there, like a little jelly bean or something. They're little tiny eggs. Let's keep reading. Chickens aren't the only ones. Most snakes lay eggs, and lizards too. And crocodiles and turtles do. Check that out. Look at those snake eggs. They're kind of long. Where are they? They're kind of long and skinny, just like a snake. What are some of the differences you notice between snake eggs and chicken eggs? This one's much longer, right? Or I'm sorry, this one's much rounder, right? And these are long and skinny to fit inside a snake. And dinosaurs, who are extinct but they were reptiles too. So lots of reptiles lay eggs. Dinosaurs were reptiles, and they laid eggs too. And I also have a cool fossil cast of a dinosaur egg. Doesn't look like much. It's a little bumpy. But on the inside, we have a little baby titanosaur, a little baby sauropod, a long-necked dinosaur. Isn't that cool? So dinosaurs laid eggs too. Frogs and toads and salamanders lay eggs, and when they hatch, they're tadpoles who grow legs and climb a lily pad just like their mom and dad. They don't have claws or scaly skin. They are called amphibians. So frog eggs right here, they look very different than chicken eggs, don't they? What are some of the differences you notice between a frog egg and a chicken egg? Well, for one, they're different colors, right? The chicken egg is white, sometimes they're brown. And these frog eggs look like green and blue, and they look kind of squishy, huh? Yeah, they don't have a very hard shell like chicken eggs. They lay their eggs in the water. They're amphibians. Ooh. Fish eggs float up to the surface or sink to the bottom of the ocean floor. How many fish can we count on this page? 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Just kidding. 1 fish, 2 fish, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count 9 fish on this page. And they all lay eggs, just like chickens. This mother seahorse lays her eggs into the father's pouch. He keeps them there until they hatch, and then he's through. I think that's nice of him, don't you? These fathers, too, are helping out by guarding eggs protected by that foamy mass that's floating by. And they won't leave until they're sure that all their eggs have hatched. Look at that. So females are always going to be the type of animal that lay eggs, but sometimes they get help from the fathers as well. So the female seahorse will lay her eggs into the father's pouch, and then the father will hold on to them until they hatch. That's very nice of him. Ooh, these are neat. These don't look like eggs to me, but they were laid in the sea. This one by a shark. This one by a ray is a mermaid's purse, they say. Wow. So do these eggs look different or similar to the chicken egg? They look pretty different to me. I see the chicken egg is very smooth, and it has this hard shell on it. And these are actually kind of hard shells too, but they don't look like the chicken egg. They kind of look like seaweed to me. Maybe that's to help them out. If something is looking to eat an egg, and it sees a bunch of seaweed, maybe it won't eat the seaweed. Maybe it'll just leave it alone. Yeah, so shark eggs and ray eggs look very different from chicken eggs. But there's little babies inside, just like a chicken egg. I love this page. The octopus is said to shed 100,000 eggs and then to hang them up in strings attached to rocks or caves. So these are all octopus eggs. Whole bunch of them. Looks like party favors, right? Hanging from the ceiling. The moon snail's eggs are mixed with sand to form this collar-looking band. So this is a moon snail's egg. Actually, the eggs are inside of this. It lays a bunch of eggs, and then it sandwiches them together in that collar-looking band, like that. Pretty neat. And very different from the chicken egg, because chickens aren't the only ones. Spiders wrap their eggs in sacs, and snails, you know, are very slow, but they lay eggs that hatch and grow. Did you know snails lay eggs? And there's little baby snails inside of them? How many baby snails can you count? Let's see. 1, 2, 3 snails that have hatched, and 1, 2, 3 snail eggs that will be snails one day after they hatch. Oh, and so do insects, who have 6 legs and lay many different kinds of eggs. This one will hatch into a hungry caterpillar who will grow and grow and grow and then climb up a stem and change into this, a chrysalis, and change again one summer morn. And that's how, do we know this? What comes out of the chrysalis? So we got an egg, hatches out of the egg, becomes a caterpillar, and then the caterpillar turns itself into a chrysalis. And then one summer morn, that's how a butterfly is born. And this right here is a tiger swallowtail. And we have those here in the butterfly pavilion. So if you wanted to visit, you can check out a tiger swallowtail. And if you have any citrus trees in your yard, you might actually have tiger swallowtails in your yard already. Their host plant is citrus. So things like lemons and oranges, it's a great spot for tiger swallowtail babies to grow. Animals with fur or hair who nurse their young and don't lay eggs are known as mammals or mammalia. But these two are exceptions, and they both live in Australia. So over here we have the spiny anteater, and over here we have the duckbill platypus with that duckbill. But both of these animals are mammals. They're more closely related to you and me than they are to a chicken. But they lay eggs too. Here's a platypus egg. Isn't that neat? And just like all mammals, they actually nurse their young. So they make milk for their babies to drink, just like people do, and cows. Chickens aren't the only ones. There's no more to discuss. Everyone who lays an egg is oviparous. That's a big word. Let's sound it out together. You ready? Oviparous. That's a big vocabulary word. Oviparous. And all these animals here are oviparous. Fish and seahorses and turtles and snails and octopi and, of course, chickens. All these animals are oviparous. Animals who don't lay eggs have babies born alive and well. But that's another tale to tell. So there are animals who do not lay eggs, like people do not lay eggs. Their babies are born alive and well. But that's another tale to tell. Thank you so much for joining me for story time today. We are going to attach a link to a really fun program that some of my friends have actually created. As we talked about earlier, dinosaurs laid eggs just like chickens do. But we've actually found some studies that have shown that dinosaur eggs were all kinds of different colors. So if we look at this page right here, some dinosaur eggs were blue, and they even had some spots on them, kind of like a robin egg. So here are some eggs, and dinosaur eggs kind of look like some of these eggs. And in that activity, we're going to show you how to dye an egg, a chicken egg, so that it looks like a dinosaur egg, so that it's blue with cool spots on it, and it'll be really fun. So thank you so much for joining, folks, and we'll see you next week for another story time.